Well, hey there, YouTubers and race fans. Welcome back to the channel where it really is all about racing. In this episode, I brought out a Formula One car that one of the viewers, when I had my preview of the 30 cars that I had in reserve, specifically asked for this car to be brought out, so I did just that. This is a Spark 143 scale Alpine A522 driven by Fernando Alonzo at the Abu Dahbi Grand Prix in 2022. Well, the Alpine A522 is a Formula One car designed and constructed by BWT, or Best Water Technologies, and the Alpine F1 team for the 2022 season. The chassis was Alpine's first under the new 2022 technical regulations. Now, this next paragraph is a mouthful. The engine is a Mechachrome built and assembled Renault E-Tech RE22 and was a 1.6-liter direct injection V6 turbocharged engine limited to 15,000 RPMs in a mid-mounted rear-wheel drive layout. The A522 also had a kinetic and thermal energy recovery system with a combined power output of more than 950 horsepower, quite a bit. Of the 22 races in the 2022 season, the Alpine team scored a big fat, you ready for this? You probably know this, 0 in wins, podiums, poles, and fastest laps. The team had reliability issues evident in this model, where at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Alonso retired at the halfway point. However, the team did manage to beat McLaren and finish 4th in the Constructors' Championship, their best since 2018. Now, folks, I did mention this is a Spark 143 scale model, as it is. It is resin. It's mounted on this rather gaudy, I think, red base. It comes with this oversized box and acrylic jewel cover. I think the box is oversized as the driver figure sticks out from it, even though I don't know why it's this big. Now, there are a lot of questions I have about this car, and I'm hoping that those of you that know more about Formula One than me, which is probably almost all of you, can fill me in on several things. First off, who is in this left-hand corner? I believe it says Collection 7. Now, we'll look at it at the back. It also notes that this is number 2, assuming that maybe they made 2 in this particular collection, whatever it is. If you take a look at the back of the car, you see the a kind of a collage of it looks like Fernando Alonso's best moments in F1, and we all know from what I read to you that in 2022 at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, this was not one of those. Now, the rear of the box does have his statistics with Team Enstone from 2003 to 2006, 2008 to 2009, and 2021 to 2022, where he had 150 race starts, his first race being in Australia in 2003, first win in Hungary in 2003, and last win in Japan at 2008. Where's he been since then? He did win 2 championships, and I understand at the time he was the youngest driver to win 2 championships. All totaled, he's had 17 wins, 42 podiums, 16 poles, 10 fastest laps, and 630 points. And as you know, at the bottom here, it says reference the 7 collection. Now I'm going to flip this on the back side, and you'll take a look at this, and it looks like your typical Spark box, again, except it says Spark by 7 collection, whoever these guys are. I probably should look it up. There's probably some information I have on. It notes it's a resin model made in China. It's officially licensed by Alpine and BWT. Now, folks, this is a really good car. It's manufactured by the standards and the presentation that you would expect from Spark. I mean, everything about this car just screams Spark. The front wing looks phenomenal. We all know that there are not perforated parts of this, but they make it look like there is. They do a great job of highlighting connectors and all the various points that I guess are important in the construction of this wing. It looks generally very, very sharp. The nose looks great. The finish is exceptional. I mean, Spark rarely make mistakes, and I don't think they have any in this particular car. As I mentioned, I don't like the base. I think it's gaudy looking, and it really detracts from the car. But hey, it is what it is. It's not leather or anything. It's just wood. Now, it is really cool if you take a look that it has the steering wheel mounted on the front of the car. Now, I'm going to just make an educated guess, and I'm going to suspect that this picture is of him drawing himself out of the car after his disgusting end of the season DNF, throwing or placing the steering wheel on the nose of the car. That's what I'm guessing. His head is down, probably both from the effort of getting up and two, being dejected as he just had a DNF. If anybody knows differently, again, please let me know. I'm a rookie in Formula One, so I'm just making a lot of guesses here. I mean, I take a look at this box, and it looks like it's celebrating all of his achievements over the course of his career, and we know his career didn't end in 2022, and it had a rather unspectacular, if not completely flop of a season. Now, other details, such as the barge board and the floor, look exceptional. Really nice touches. Paint and finish is just exceptional. Decal work, what you would expect from Spark. Take a little bit more look at the figure. I think his helmet looks really, really sharp. I mean, I really love the helmets of all these guys in F1. I think that part of the fun of collecting them is getting a good look at the helmets. I kind of wish they did that in sports cars too. There's a look at the back. And the figures that they do are really good. And maybe that's who Collection 7 is, the folks that maybe make these figures and put this thing together. Take a look at the rest of the car. It was... this livery was not the original livery of the season. As I recall, it was all pink, and then they had I guess they had Pride celebrations where they had a special livery for that. I don't recall seeing that. I probably have to look over the season again to figure out where that was or what it was. Here's a look at the back of the car, and it's really, really cool. This is one of the lowest number limited collection cars that I have. Guys, this is only 11 out of 300 of these built. And let me tell you something about F1 that I learned from talking to a dealer at the Petit Le Mans. Is making these cars are very expensive, which is why they make them by the tens of thousands and give you all sorts of different choices of the same car. Because to make these molds are pricey, and they're only good for 1 year, and sometimes not even that, as things change all over the year. So they have to make 10 to 20,000 of them and charge you an exorbitant amount just to recoup the money that they invested. And I certainly understand that. And these cars really are true works of art. I mean, you look at it and you wonder, who did this? And if you ever tried to repair a broken model, you know how exhausting and exasperating it can be, particularly in a scale like 1/43. I mean, you got to admire what these guys do. The work is exceptional. I think the models look absolutely fantastic. I love them. I was never a huge fan of F1, literally until this year. And, quite frankly, I just can't get enough of it. And you can see that with a number of videos that I'm putting out of cool cars that I have. Anyhow, a couple of the questions I would like you to let me know in the comment section are, one, why this particular race where he was a DNF, and why do we have his figure on this guy? I just don't get it. I'm just completely confused. There's absolutely nothing to celebrate, and he's not really celebrating. But why make a model if that is the case of a driver in complete disgust or frustration? The rear insert card, as I mentioned before, looks like you're celebrating all his achievements, and you have his achievements on the back of the box. To me, this would be more appropriate for his last race of his career, which we know this isn't. However, I did find out that in 2022, he did break the record for the most starts at the Singapore Grand Prix. So why not make a car celebrating that? And also, who is Collection 7? And if there are two cars in the series, does anybody know what the second car is? Does anybody have this car? We know that they only made 300 of these, and that is not a lot. Particularly in F1, where, as I mentioned before, they have to make tens of thousands of these just to make any money. So anyhow, folks, thanks for watching. I hope you found this interesting and enjoyable. And if you can really help me out with those questions that I have, I'd certainly appreciate it. Take care. See you next time.